kind. The kind that grows between two people who both know something is wrong and neither one says it. The kind that doesn't break, it just hardens until one day you realize it isn't between you anymore, it's inside you. I was married for 38 years to a woman named Dorothy. Dot, I called her. Everyone did. She was not a loud person. She didn't fill a room the way some people do. She filled it the way light does, slowly, and you didn't notice until it was gone. She's been gone 11 years now, and I have spent 11 years understanding things about her that I should have understood while she was still here to hear me say them. That's what this is about. That's what this has always been about. I grew up in a house where silence was the rule. My father was not a cruel man. People would have said he was kind even, but he never spoke about what he felt. Not once, not a single time in my life did I see my father say to my mother or to me or to anyone what was actually happening inside him. He just carried it quietly, and he expected us to do the same. And I did. God, I did. I learned it the way you learn anything from a father, without being taught, without being told. It just became the way I moved through the world. Keep it inside. Don't make it heavy for someone else. Don't be the person who needs something out loud. I thought that was strength. For decades, I thought that was what it meant to be a good man, a good husband. I was wrong about that, but I didn't know I was wrong for a very long time. Dot and I met in 1971. I was 29. She was 26. We were at a dinner that someone had organized. I don't even remember who now. One of those evenings that are supposed to be forgettable, but aren't. She was sitting near the window. She had a way of listening to people that made you feel like you were the only one in the room, not because she said clever things, because she was genuinely paying attention. Her whole body was turned toward whoever was talking. Her eyes didn't wander. I watched her do that all evening, and I thought, there is something in this person that I don't have. Something I don't know how to do. We got married 2 years later. A small thing. Her mother, my mother, a few friends. Nothing big. Neither of us wanted big. And for a while, for a good while, we were happy. I want to be clear about that. We were happy. I'm not sitting here telling you our marriage was a tragedy from the start. It wasn't. There were years, good years, years where I would come home and she would be in the kitchen and the radio would be on and the house would smell like something she was cooking, and I would just stand in the doorway for a moment and think, this is it. This is what life is, this quiet, ordinary thing. And it's enough. It was enough. For a long time, it was enough. But something started happening somewhere in the middle of it all. And I couldn't tell you exactly when, because it wasn't a single moment. It was a slow thing, the way a crack moves through a wall over years. You don't see it moving, you just one day notice it's bigger than it used to be. Dot started trying to talk to me, not about the small things, about the real things, what she was feeling, what she needed, whether I was happy, whether we were okay. And I would answer. I want to be careful here. I did answer. I said the things that seemed right. I said, of course, and we're fine, and what do you mean? I said all the words that were supposed to make it okay. But I didn't actually say anything. Not really. I was keeping it inside, the way my father taught me, the way I had always done. I was protecting her from the weight of what was in me, or at least that's what I told myself. The truth is, I was protecting myself from the discomfort of being seen. There was a night. I think about this night more than any other. It was maybe 1994. Our daughter, Margaret, was 16. She was upstairs doing homework or something, I don't remember. Dot and I were in the living room. The television was on, but neither of us was watching it. She turned to me and she said, "Harold, do you ever feel like we're disappearing?" And I remember looking at her, and I remember knowing exactly what she meant. I knew. I felt it too. That slow erasure, that feeling that somewhere along the way we had stopped reaching toward each other and started just existing in the same space. I knew all of that, and I said, "What do you mean?" Not because I didn't understand, because I didn't want to go there. Because going there meant admitting something was wrong, and admitting something was wrong meant having to feel it, and feeling it meant being in pain, and I had spent my entire life building a structure specifically so I would never have to do that. She looked at me for a moment, just a moment, and then she looked back at the television, and that was it. She didn't push, she didn't cry, she didn't say another word about it, and I didn't either. Not that night, not the next day, for years. The silence closed over that question like water closing over a stone. And we just kept going. We kept being married. We kept being a family. We kept being fine. We kept being quiet. But something shifted that night. Something that had been open closed, and I felt it close. I felt it, and I let it. That is the thing I cannot get past. I felt it happening, and I let it happen. I had the chance to keep that door open, and I chose comfort over connection, and I have been paying for that choice ever since. Dot got sick in 2009, pancreatic cancer. By the time they found it, it was already too far along. They told us in March. She was gone by October. 7 months. People think grief is about the death. It isn't. Or it's not only about the death. The grief I carry, the real weight of it, isn't about losing her at the end. It's about all the years before that. All the years I was right there, and I wasn't really there. In those last 7 months, something changed between us. I don't want to make it sound romantic. It wasn't romantic. It was terrifying. But when she got sick, something in me cracked open. And for the first time in our marriage, I started saying things, real things, what I felt, what she meant to me, what I was afraid of. And she listened the way she always did, with her whole body, with her whole attention. And one afternoon, maybe in August, she said something to me. We were sitting in the living room, same couch. She was tired. The medication made her tired all the time. She said, "Harold, I wish you had let me in earlier." She said it so quietly, not with anger, not even with sadness exactly, just with a kind of tired honesty, the way someone talks when they finally stopped hoping for something. "I wish you had let me in earlier." That sentence is the one I hear when the house is too quiet. That sentence is the reason I am recording this, because she was right. She had been asking to be let in for 30 years, and I had been holding the door shut. Not because I didn't love her. I loved her more than I knew how to say, which, looking back, is exactly the problem. After she died, I sat in this house for a long time. I don't mean I was sad, though I was. I mean I sat with the silence, the real silence, the silence that comes when the person you shared a life with is no longer there to fill it, even gently. And in that silence, I started to hear all the things I had never said. They didn't disappear when she left. They stayed. They were still here, in the walls, in the kitchen, in the hallway. All those words I kept inside. Margaret came by when she could. She lives far away now. She has her own family, her own life. She's a good mother. Better than I was a father, I think. She learned something from watching what happened between Dot and me. I don't know if she'd say that, but I think she did. I have thought about this 11 years. 11 years of sitting in this kitchen, turning it over. And here is what I have come to understand. Not as a lesson. I'm not trying to teach anyone anything, but just as a truth that finally caught up with me. I thought silence was a gift I was giving to the people around me. I thought by keeping my pain, my fear, my need quiet, I was sparing them. I was being noble. I was being strong. But silence isn't a gift. It's a wall. And walls don't protect the people on the other side of them. They just make them feel alone. Dot felt alone. For years, she felt alone. And I was right there. That is the cost. That is what waiting costs. Not a dramatic collapse, not a fight, just a slow, quiet loneliness that builds on both sides of something you both could have broken through if either one of you had just been brave enough to try. I wasn't brave enough. Not in time.